What's up, everybody? Welcome to Human Innovation Tarot. My name is Eddie with Imagine Life Development Center. And in this video, I discuss the importance of finding spiritual balance in all things that we do in life. Spirituality isn't, something that is, like a genre. It's not like a sport. It's not like we go to work and then we come home, we cook dinner, we take the kids to soccer, and then we go to we do spirituality, right? Or like, maybe for those of you who kind of relate to, maybe you grew up going to church where it's like Monday through Saturday, you work, you have your day off, and then on Sunday is the day you go to church. And so it's kind of like Sunday, is sort of like the spiritual day, or at least at the beginning for the 1 or 2 hours that you're at church. That's kind of like the spiritual, like that's the spiritual doing of the week per se, right? And so in this video, I talk about, this video was taken from a recent live tarot reading that I did. And in this video, I'm talking about the importance of us learning how to merge our spiritual life with our normal life to where the two are coexisting as one at all times. That we're always spiritual. We're never not spiritual, because spirituality is not, an idea. It's not a concept. It's not crystals. It's not tarot cards. It's not astrology. It's not all these concepts or a genre of things that, we call spirituality. Spirituality is who we are all the time, right? It's the way that we relate and create our reality. It's a spirit reality, spiritual reality, right? We are spiritual beings having a physical experience in this world, right? So this video is all about the importance of learning how we can coexist with true spirituality. And I explain what that is in this video so that, we're always in our magician power. We're always stepping out and living from a place of being a powerful person, right? Which is what this channel is all about. So I hope you like the video. Right? But then you have this balancing act card here. And this balancing act card is tied to several things. The balancing act card is saying, hey, you have to be aware of a pattern that you have, that of understanding that when life comes knocking, it's almost like the lack of an ability to multitask. When you are focused on spiritual things, it's like you can be immersed, and that's really good. When you're focused, but it works both ways. If life becomes the focus, then it's like the spiritual stuff is just not even in your sight, out of sight, out of mind. And so there's this balancing act, and the universe is wanting, your higher power is wanting you to know that you need to understand this about yourself. You need to become aware of the out of sight, out of mind way that you work. It's not good, it's not bad, it's just an awareness thing, because you can do a lot of work learning how to invest in your spiritual gift, but it's not very good to you if something distracts you, and then it's like you're not spiritual anymore. It's like, well, as long as I'm focused on spiritual, then I'm spiritual. But the minute that I stop focusing on spiritual, I'm not spiritual anymore. I'm consumed by the not spiritual things, the not spiritual part of my life. And so the balancing act card is saying you need to learn how to coexist. You need to learn how to be spiritual in the non-spiritual things. These two worlds need to learn how to coexist together in order for your gift to really shine and show itself, so you can actually know what it is and why you have it and how it works. But if it's out of balance, then it's really kind of like, when you're operating out, and a lot of people do this, by the way. I see this in the spiritual community all the time. Spiritual people, they go to spiritual places to do spiritual things with other spiritual people, but they're just sitting there doing spiritual things, but nothing's really changing. Nothing's really happening. It's like going to a club, right? It's like you have a little club that you hang out with people who like doing the same things that you do, like a hobby. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but that's not true spirituality. That's having a hobby. Like if you get together and you want to meditate and you want to burn incense and you want to play with crystals and, shuffle tarot cards, and that's just stuff you like to do. There's nothing wrong with that. No judgment here, but that's not spiritual. That's not spiritual. That's no more spiritual than going out and playing golf or playing football or any other hobby that any other human being has. Those are just hobbies. There's nothing spiritual about it other than the fact that we think it's spiritual because, it's crystals, it's incense, and I'm doing meditations and, blah, 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 blah. And we have tarot cards and we talk about astrology. No, that's not spiritual. Those are just things that people enjoy doing, right? Hobbies. Something that is spiritual is something that, first of all, it changes you, but then it's something that you have that comes out of you that has the ability to change others, right? It's a lifestyle. It's not something you do, right? It's nothing to do with the clothes you wear, the crystals you buy, the tarot cards, the astrology. It has nothing to do with any of that. It has to do with you figuring out who you are. True spirituality is a person going within oneself to figure out who they are, stepping into the authenticity of who you are, and then stepping out into the world as the authenticity of what you discovered inside of you. And as you embrace and step out into the world in that authenticity, then you do crazy things that you never thought you could do that impacts the collective, because that's all true spirituality contributes beyond itself. All true spirituality. You are not living a spiritual life if the things that you do not contribute to anything more than yourself. So if you're just sitting at home and you're studying astrology and you play with tarot cards and that's not spiritual, because it only involves you. If it was truly spiritual, it would call to you to get out and go do something in the world. There's always a bigger picture with true spirituality. So again, the balancing act here is saying that, don't fall into that trap where it's like, hey, I'm focused on spirituality today, and I'm going to go hang out with all the spiritual people at the crystal shop. And then when you leave the crystal shop and you go home, you're not doing the spiritual things anymore. When you're at home, nope. It's like, I'm focused on my job, my work, my chores, my bills, like everything I normally do. Nothing spiritual happening here. I'm at home. But tomorrow I'm going to go back to the crystal shop and hang out with my spiritual friends. Now I'm spiritual again. The balancing card is saying, don't do that. Don't do that. That's not spirituality. Like, you need to learn how to be spiritual all the time, because spirituality isn't something you do. It's something you become. And that something is the you that's inside of you. It's your spirit. You're spiriting your reality. Spiritual reality is spiriting your reality. It's the spirit that is your reality. It's who you become. It's nothing you do. All this shit right here, these are cards, these are pieces of paper with artwork on them. There's nothing spiritual about this card. Nothing spiritual about these cards, anything that I've done tonight. All these are just pieces of paper with art on them and words. Nothing spiritual about it. Nothing magical about it. Right? Well, what makes these tools spiritual? I do. I'm the one who makes these tools spiritual. Same thing with this thing. This is a pendulum. There's nothing magical or spiritual about this fake rock with a chain on it. Silver chain. Nothing spiritual. Nothing spiritual at all about this. In fact, I could reach over and grab one of my necklaces off my wall, and I could use that as a pendulum. You don't have to buy a fancy pendulum from a store to have a pendulum. You can use a necklace. You can use anything that swings, and it works the same way, right? This thing isn't what makes this spiritual or magical. I do. This thing works in my hand because it's my energy that makes it work. I'm the one that's the spiritual thing that empowers these objects. These objects have no power, right? And so it's very important to understand that, because for me, this is not something that I do. It's something that I am, right? That's why if for those of you, I don't know how, obviously probably not many of you because it's super late now, but for those of you who are around for a while, there are messages that come through and there's no cards. It's just channeled messages that come through. And when the channel messages come through, they come through. I don't need the cards to channel the messages. In fact, 90% of the shit that comes out of my mouth has nothing to do with these cards. You know, the cards are just, you know, guideposts. The cards are there to put me in the ballpark of you know, helping me understand, okay, this is the message that needs to be conveyed. This is maybe what it's about. It puts me in the ballpark, and then I just remove myself and allow my spiritual gift to do its thing. I get out of my own way, and then the power of that's the power is there. The power works through me because it's there, right? And that's something that you develop. That's a skill that you learn. You learn how to get out of your own way to allow your spiritual gift to move through you. And that just takes trial and error, takes practice, it takes time. The more you do something, repetition is the mother of skill, and many other things, right? But all that to say that this is not something I do, it's something that I am. I do this all the time now. In anytime that I can do this, I do this. When I'm talking to people, and I'm not on YouTube, when I'm out and about, if I'm at the store, it doesn't matter wherever I am, I try my hardest to constantly be in a place of, okay, I'm ready, I'm here, I'm available, use me, speak through me. I'm here to serve. I'm here to serve all the time. I'm here to serve. I'm here to use this gift all the time, right? I don't always have cards on me. That's another thing. So I can't just, you know, oh my gosh, somebody has a question. Somebody has something, you know, maybe they need help. I can't just reach in my back pocket and pull out all my cards and all my tools and my pendulums and all the things, you know? So, but the spiritual gift in me still shows up. It's like, hey, you don't need that stuff. I got your back, you know? So that's the balancing act card for you. This might be one of the most important messages that are on the table besides this one, which I'm about to get to. This right here is the balancing act, you know? So don't lose sight. Don't lose focus. When you're focused over here and you start losing sight of this thing over here, just do your best to try to learn how to merge those two worlds to where you become your spirituality. You become your spiritual gift. Because, and I'm not saying that it's impossible that between now and you meeting this man that you couldn't achieve that to some degree. It's anything's possible, and you could. And if you could achieve that, well, then you could bring that spiritual gift into the relationship that you have with this man. Right? So it's you know, there's a spectrum of potential outcomes here that could occur. It's just, you know, how well you balance the act, no pun intended, with the name of the card, balancing act there, but however well that you learn to balance the act of everything I just said, you know, determines what potential outcomes are available to you as a result of doing so. Hey guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. All the other information is in the description box below. And as always, my friends,
I'm not a bloody psychic.